True folk dances and folk music are without a written history. Folk dances and music are handed down from generation to generation by word of mouth and personal involvement. Clogging, in its original form, is a true folk dance because it has neither a written history nor a written vocabulary. How and where did clogging begin? Who brought clogging to America first? How dance masters influenced dance music in the European social structure, how clogging became a tradition in the southern Appalachian Mountains, why clogging blended with square dancing and assumed the same identity. Impact of European social structure on folk, music, and dance. The social structuring of people by class had a definite effect as to the written history of music and dance, such as your class structure, your dance masters, and how dances were choreographed. And we're going to look at that as we look into our shared heritage, a time when dance, music, and social structure were intertwined in ways that shaped society itself. The intricate relationship between these elements reveals much about the power dynamics and cultural practices of the past, and it is a story that deserves our attention. In times past, the rigid class structure of society profoundly influenced the preservation and dissemination of art forms such as folk dances and music. For the lower class who bore the rich tradition of folk culture, literacy was a rare privilege. This inability to document their songs and dances meant that much of their cultural heritage lived solely in the oral tradition, passed down from generation to generation, but always at risk of being forgotten. Meanwhile, the upper classes, insulated by their wealth and status, often dismissed the art forms of the lower classes as unworthy of record or recognition. To them, engaging with or documenting the practices of the lower class was seen as beneath their social standing. This gap documentation represents a profound loss for cultural historians and for humanity as a whole. Folk dances and music are often the purest expression of a community's spirit, its joys, its struggles, and its stories. Yet the societal divide of the time ensured that these expressions were marginalized, their preservations left to chance rather than intent. Amidst the backdrop, however, there was one group that held a unique, prestigious role in bridging the worlds of art, culture, and society, the dance masters. These individuals were not merely instructors of movement, but custodians of social grace and decorum. In an era when every social event was governed by elaborate codes of conduct, the dance master was a key figure in preparing young men and women of the upper class to navigate the intricacies of their social world. Dance masters were more than just teachers. They were cultural architects. Their influence extended far beyond the ballroom. They choreographed dances that reflected the elegance and sophistication of the upper classes and worked closely with composers to create music that matched these carefully crafted movements. Unlike today, where music often inspires dance, in that era, the process was reversed. Dances were conceptualized first, with music composed to fit their structure and rhythm. This highlights an extraordinary influence dance masters held over the artistic output of their time. Through their work, dance masters shaped not only the entertainment but also the character and values of the upper class. They instilled discipline, poise, and a sense of cultural refinement. Yet even as they contributed to the development of high art, they also inadvertently reinforced the divide between classes. The dances they created were exclusive to the elite, further distancing the upper elite of society from the folk traditions of the lower classes. Looking back on this history, we can see both inspiration and caution. The dance masters remind us of the power of art to influence society, to mold behavior, and to elevate human expression. At the same time, the neglect of folk tradition serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of cultural elitism. By valuing one form of expression over another, entire worlds of creativity and meaning can be lost. Today we have an opportunity to rectify the oversights of the past. Modern technology and more inclusive approach to cultural preservations allow us to document, celebrate, and share the diverse tradition that make up our collective heritage. Let us embrace this opportunity. Let us honor not only the grandeur of the upper classes, but also the vibrant, unrecorded rhythms of the folk. The story of the dance masters and their era challenge us to think about the intersections of art, class, and culture. It invites us to appreciate the art history of the past while also learning from its limitations. As we move forward, may we strive to preserve and celebrate all forms of cultural expressions, ensuring that no voice, no dance, and no song is ever deemed unworthy of remembrance. The origins of clogging stem from a fusion of European folk dances and cultural exchanges throughout history, including the movement of troops, industrialization, and migration to the Americas. Troop movements, as seen during Napoleon's campaign, likely facilitated the spread of similar step dances across Europe, though this connection remains speculative. Countries influenced by such movements often developed clogging-like dances, while those untouched, like Switzerland, did not. In England, clogging grew in the 18th and 19th centuries within industrial towns where workers in wooden clogs used rhythmic foot tapping during breaks or to mimic factory machinery. This practice evolved into a widespread cultural activity with competitions and performances in music halls. European immigrants later brought clogging to the U.S., where it blended with the Appalachian music, African American rhythms, and Native American influence, forming modern styles performed with heavy beat and heel-toe movements. The blending of diverse cultural elements from the Dutch farmer's dance to Appalachian buck dancing reflects clogging's role as a dynamic, evolving folk dance that continues to adapt to regional and societal influences today. Clogging comes to America and settles in the Appalachian Mountains. The English brought clogging to America, but their religious beliefs and lack of dance masters led to dancing being socially discouraged in early New England, resulting in the loss of much of the original dance heritage. The Scotch-Irish influence, the immigrants often fleeing English oppression, settled in the Appalachian Mountains. They valued dancing as an expression of freedom, leading to a unique regional dance tradition. The German flatfoot clog became a dominant step dance in the Appalachian region, clogging intertwined with square dancing, becoming indistinguishable in the Appalachian communities. Buck dancing is a solo dance. Clogging, buck dancing performed while square dancing. Buck and wing, a courtship dance between a man and a woman. Cultural impacts on clogging reflects a blend of influences varying by community. Downbeat emphasis, German influences. Upbeat emphasis is the English influence. Other influences are Native American, African American, French, and Russian contributions further diversified the style. Examples of these are breakdancing, which is rooted in African culture, reflects slave tradition. Jig dancing, often mistakenly associated with African heritage, is of Scottish origin and is linked to clan identities. Square dancing and clogging often mingled, using the formations of the Southern Appalachian who preferred the Sicilian circle. The Northern Appalachians alternated between the English quadrille and Sicilian circles. The military influence of the quadrille formation possibly influenced the military drills, highlight a cultural exchange between dance and precision training. After World War II, the fusion of English, German, and contra dance tradition gave rise to the modern square dancing in California, offering limitless variations. Traditional clogging and square dancing reflect themes of freedom, family, and social harmony. The couple represents the family unit, dancing together in unity within a larger social structure. Modern clogging and the need for instructors. Clogging is an American percussive dance form with roots in Appalachian traditions, blending influences from Irish jigs, English step dances, African rhythms, Cherokee stomp dances, and more. Historically, clogging was learned informally by observing others and practiced mainly at community gatherings to live music. In the late 50s, Dennis Abe introduced structured workshops, leading to the formalization of instruction and widespread popularity through organizations like the National Clogging and Hoedown Council, NCHC. The dance gained national recognition when the Saco Gap dancers performed at the White House in 1939, legitimizing it and inspiring pride among practitioners. Modern clogging incorporates various styles, freestyle precision, synchronized routines, and contemporary, which includes modern music genres like rock, hip-hop, and country. The dance evolved further by integrating elements of Canadian step dance and folk tap. Today, clogging is celebrated as both a recreational and competitive activity, valued for its rich multicultural origins and adaptability to contemporary trends.